get a line, I'll get a pole, matey. You get a line, I'll get a pole, friend. Oh, you get...
The Necro Critic is in. The Necro Critic is in. Watch crap movies, play crap games. There's too much out there causing us pain. The actors are rancid, the plot is stale. Necro is here to put an end to the fail. The Necro Critic is in. The Necro Critic is in.
Hi, I'm the Necro Critic. If there's one thing that English and drama class have taught me, it's that conflict is the spice of all storytelling. Without the conflict, it's not even a story. It's an event, an occurrence, a happening, if you will. As such, every story, be it a book, movie, or video game, needs two things to achieve that conflict: a protagonist and an antagonist. While the protagonist, or hero, is the main focus of the story, the antagonist is tasked with the even more important job of driving the story to its climax. Now, while the antagonist can be anything from one's personal inner demons to a force of nature, today we're going to focus on the most common type: the villain. And where can we find the best villains? Where else but Disney? Simply put, Disney has great movies, and they have great villains to thank for that. Hey, they weren't always the happiest place on Earth. They had to work hard for that status. As such, the Disney villains stand out as some of the greatest and most classic villains in film history. Or so people like to think. You see, while some Disney villains are properly recognized for their greatness, not all of them are given their due worth. I mean, for every Jafar, Hades, and Maleficent, there are at least 3 Frollos, Madam Mims, and Honest Johns. So today, I'm going to pay tribute to the lesser recognized of the best of the worst. So let me take you on a trip into the darkest corners of the back alleys of the Disney Kingdom. This is the Necro Critic's Top 10 Underappreciated Disney Villains.
Number 10. SYKES from Oliver and Company. What better way to start off the list than with an underappreciated villain from an underappreciated movie? The movie itself was a very loose retelling of Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. It was pretty average, though the music and setting make it the most 80s-tastic Disney movie I've ever seen. However, who really sold the movie was SYKES, a ruthless loan shark who would do anything to get his money, no matter how foul a deed it was. Kidnapping children, beating animals, hell, he even threatens to murder a bum for not paying him back. A bum!
What kind of depraved asshole assaults homeless people for money?
What's truly scary about him is the fact that he's one of the more realistic Disney villains. I mean, you can actually run into people like this on the street. What's even scarier is the fact that Bill Sikes, the abusive, psychotic, and murderous character he was based on, is often considered to be one of the scariest literary and film villains of all time. In turn, giving us one of the scariest Disney villains of all time. Number 9. Royal Pain from Sky High.
Now, be honest. Out of all the live-action Disney villains, which ones do you actually remember?
Besides him. And him. Okay, smartass, how about somebody not from a Pirates of the Caribbean movie? Yeah, that's what I thought. Sky High follows the story of a boy attending a high school for superheroes. The movie is a huge tribute to the Silver Age in all of its cheesy glory, and the villain is no exception. With her cheesy name, awesome costume, and hammy performance, Royal Pain is so over the top that she's awesome. She also has 2 very awesome superpowers: telepathic control over technology, and the even more terrifying ability to change her voice into Patrick Warburton's.
Patience! We've waited this long. When the time is right, we'll have our revenge.
If that's not evil, I don't even want to know what is.
Originally, she was the arch nemesis of the main character's dad, the Commander, with the evil plan of using a ray gun to turn all of the superheroes into babies and then raising them to be villains. However, when Commander thwarted her plans and blew up her gun, she was turned into a baby herself. So she was raised by her evil minion, grew up, re-attended the titular high school, and seduced her arch nemesis's son just so that she could have another shot at her evil plot.
Now that's what I call dedication.
Royal Pain. So awesome, and yet so low on the list.
I went through puberty twice for this.
Number 8. Hopper from A Bug's Life. For years, he and his gang of grasshoppers have been forcing an ant colony to give them over half of their food every year. So, when one ant screws up and loses their food, he tells them to give him even more by the time they get back, or else. Like a true tyrant, he mostly uses fear and intimidation as his weapon, and to great effect. This guy is so intimidating that he tries to kill a little girl in front of the entire colony without any resistance. And when one ant does as much as react, he takes it as an act of war and demands even more food because of it. What's worse is the fact that he doesn't even need the food. They have more than plenty at their hangout. So, why is he even bothering to do all of this?
Besides, it's just a bunch of puny ants. What are they gonna do?
Puny? Say, let's pretend this brain is a puny little ant. Did that hurt?
Nope.
Well, how about this one? Are you kidding? How about this?
Keep.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Do Does anybody else want to stay?
Heil Hopper!
Hopper, a true plague upon bug kind. Number 7. Doris from Meet the Robinsons. With fearsome technology, a diabolical plot, and an elegant fashion, this is truly one of the most terrifying... No. Not him. Pan up a bit. There's our fiend. While Bowler Hat Guy was technically the antagonist, the DOR-15, or Doris, was truly the brains behind the operation. Bowler Hat Guy was just the, he kept the evil hat from looking stupid. Mostly by comparison.
I'll turn him into a duck. Yes, yes, it's so evil. I don't know how to do that. I don't really need a duck.
Originally invented as a helping hat to aid people with daily tasks, Doris gained sentience and decided to rebel against its creator and take over the world. And unlike most Disney villains, it actually succeeded by altering the timeline and causing an evil hat apocalypse, resulting in one of the most disturbing scenes in Disney history.
Doris, what's happening? I don't understand. He just wanted to ruin his future, not this.
No, this can't be happening, no!
Oh, Lewis, it's already happened.
That would be unbelievably silly if it wasn't so frightening.
Doris. Hats off to such a great villain. Number 6. Percival McLeach from The Rescuers Down Under. While the evil poacher is both an untrue stereotype and a tired cliché, McLeach takes that role to a whole new level. While he might not be the brightest bulb in the onion patch, he's still one conniving, sadistic bastard. He slaughters animals for fun, profit, and fun. I mean, just listen to him sing about it.
Along the range, where the critters are tied up in chains, I cut through their sides and I rip off their hides, and the next day I do it again. Everybody! Oh.
Now there's a guy who loves his job.
As such, he spends almost the entire movie torturing a little boy for information on the location of a very rare eagle. He sicks a monitor lizard on him, throws knives at him, keeps him in a cage with other captive animals, and uses him as live bait for crocodile fishing. And if that wasn't bad enough, he has a scope on his shotgun. Why? Probably so he can see the terrified look on his victims' faces before he riddles them full of holes.
Now, I know what some of you are thinking. But what about Madame Medusa? You know, the villain from the original Rescuers movie?
Now, to give credit, Medusa is also a great underappreciated villain. I mean, she kidnaps an orphan, mentally abuses her, and threatens her life just so she can crawl into a cave and get a diamond, risking drowning in the process. However, I feel that McLeach is a much more threatening villain. I mean, Medusa's creepy and all, but she got her ass kicked by a bunch of woodland critters. McLeach wouldn't take any of that shit. He eats small animals like that for breakfast. Literally. McLeach is also a much more entertaining villain, while still posing an actual threat. And George C. Scott does an excellent job of getting that across. You can just tell he had fun voicing him.
My mama called the Rangers.
Oh no, not the Rangers. What'll I do? What'll I do? Don't let your ma call the Rangers, please. My poor baby boy got eaten by the crocodile. Boo hoo hoo. Let's go, boy.
If you thought that was nasty, you ought to see this deleted scene.
We're going to hold on to him by the nose, and we're going to kick him in the ass. We're going to kick the hell out of him all the time, and we're going to go through him like crap through a goose.
McLeach. He had to work hard to make it this far on the list.
I didn't make it all the way through 3rd grade for nothing.